In this case of Ransom today, we'll be talking about food wastage. I happen to be working with 4 people that work within the food industry, including myself. I work in a supermarket, and I'm happy to be accompanied with 2 chefs and 1 person who's a waiter, if I'm not wrong, within a restaurant. He knows himself. I'm not going to mention names. Stop looking at me like that.
Who's the waiter?
That's what you're waiting. I'm
Kitchen porter.
KP, kitchen porter.
Yeah, what's that then?
Ransom.
They do the cleaning.
I port in the kitchen.
Oh.
No, all the like the big.
Yeah, they clean the area. They make sure that the chef can prep all the food and stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm kitchen assistant.
you're still working within the chef industry.
You called him a waiter.
Food industry, innit?
The wait.
Okay, fine. Stop and we start again then.
Stop this.
No,
this is how Ransom works.
This
isn't
is how we doing
There
it,
you
yeah?
go, there you go.
Yeah? Are we still recording?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, then you know what, yeah?
Right. So we got a kitchen porter, kitchen assistant, we got a chef.
Yeah. And it's a person who can cook.
Terri can cook. So,
Well,
you know.
I work in a supermarket, so therefore customer service in retail. I've been working in retail for nearly 4 to 5 years, and what I've noticed that there is a heavy amount of food wastage, and that's due to, well, within my store it's due to poor packaging conditions and out of date stuff. And we live in a time where there's, as you know, we're in a recession right now, heading down into a
When haven't we been in a recession?
Well, since 2008 we've been in a recession, since the whole financial crash. And as you can see now, we're living in a time where people are depending on food banks.
Yep.
Meaning people can basically scrape by with all they have, and therefore they have to depend upon food bank. And people have been telling me that we find it ridiculous that big supermarkets such as the supermarkets I work for, which I cannot mention name for copyright reasons, are always throwing away food that can still be eaten. But because it does not look good, we cannot sell it.
Yeah.
And therefore causing attention. Well, I think it's wrong in a way, and I think that we should be giving it more to charities and more to these food banks and all such organizations that do this. That's what I personally think.
Yeah, personally, like with not this work, but the work I worked with before, like you always get food wastage at the end of the night. Food that you don't sell, but it's going off either on that day or that you can't sell in the morning the next day. So for me, I'm like, well, why can't you put it out back for people that, you know, for homeless or, you know, for the people that are needy, so they can have it and they can take it and they can eat it. Like, why can't, like, but obviously they're probably thinking from a financial point of view, you know, it's better to throw it away than it is to give away for free. Because imagine you started putting food at the back when people would just wait for it. They would just wait. They'll be like, so what day is it today? Oh yeah, the meat's going out. I'm just gonna wait. Get some free food. You know what I mean? So that's how people might be thinking about it.
Well, yeah.
How do you feel about it, Camilla?
I agree. I think there's a lot of food wastage, and I've noticed that it's actually illegal for supermarkets to give away food. But even in Dalston, there was one night I went past it and there was some people going through their bins, but they're doing it secretly to give it away. And I think having more organisations like that would be helpful, and actually making it legal, because there's a lot of people that need food. Also, a lot of people don't know much about food banks.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know where the nearest one is.
Food banks are actually set up by charities such as local churches and local organization that's mainly for women who are on benefits, and they're there to really help out those who literally cannot sustain themselves with the little money they get from their wages, such as the job seekers allowance and other such benefits. If they cannot live off of that, then I'm afraid they have to go to a food bank in order to get some money, or they're actually those that don't get no money at all and they're literally dependent upon it. So that's what I know about food banks, and I think in this modern day society, it's horrible that we have them.
What do you think about it, Terri?
I think like when you see homeless people on the street, they should be able to go to a place and just get the food.
Hence, that's one of the emphasis of the food banks. But it's now, as we said, as we know, we're in a recession now. There are more people who are living off scraps because of the economic situation we're in.
I even heard on the news once, because people have this whole thing with the food banks. I heard on the news how this basically middle class family drove all the way to the food bank, took the food and drove all the way back home. And it's like, well, you don't need it. You're driving in a nice car, you're middle class. Why are you then taking food when like there's people that are actually in need that need it? So obviously people's views on the actual food banks themselves, they're like, oh, people take advantage of it. Those that don't need it take the food, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's a conflict.
Well, personally, that's what you get when you're in a recession, which we should be talking to.
That's what you get when things are free. People take advantage of it.
No. That's what you get when you're in a recession and the jobs are taken away from you. This is a clear case result of
Fascism.
Liberalism.
Fascism and neoliberalism.
Neoliberalism.
Liberalism.
Neoliberalism.
Liberalism.
Ranting.